Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. It cannot be stopped, and it is the only free voice left on the net. Please, PS4, do not record error on me. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. In today's Skyrim mod video, which is being shot on PS4 SLIM, and this is the special edition of Skyrim, I wanted to have one of my chat videos with you where I discuss some things. This video will not be for everybody, will probably not be entertaining, but that I wanted to talk about kind of some things that I would avoid or be cautious of during our current patch of 1.31 with the way that the modding situation... Everyone stop that. The modding situation is. Now, things that I want to cover in this video is that I would not suggest downloading all creations from the library. I'd be careful in deleting mods out of load order that have not been affected by this patch. And also, in the case of ESL flagged mods, that they may be still counting to the plugin limit. Before getting any further into this video though, please understand that I am not an expert on this game, that what you hear in this video and on this channel should never be taken as 100% fact. I'm not even a Skyrim channel. I am whatever I choose to upload, which includes Skyrim content. While I do my best to try to be factual, I can make mistakes, so please keep that in mind. Also, for those on other platforms, what I'm going to be talking about is my experiences here on Special Edition on the PS4. I do not know if it will apply to you on your platform, and that includes PS5, of which I do not have, and of which I have received conflicting comments about, with some PS5 players saying that the mods downloading at the much larger size that they're not supposed to be on this current patch is a PS4 exclusive thing and not happening on the PS5. Some PS5 players tell me they have 14 gigabytes of ghost space, while others tell me that the patch on PS5 is working perfectly as intended. So I do not know what I will be discussing will relate to you, but understand that I am coming from being a PS4 player for Special Edition, and that is what I'm going to be discussing. Things that are happening to me and most likely other PS4 players, especially from what I've seen in the comments. So the first thing that I want to talk about that in my opinion I think that you should avoid for the current time while we're still on patch 1.31 until and if a fix is found is the option to... Why is Lydia out here?
First the war, and now there's talk of dragons.
Sorry.
What's next?
The option to download all creations from library. That, in my opinion, under no circumstances should you attempt to do that. And these are the reasons why. So for players that are newer to modding Skyrim and may not be aware, when you're in the game, you go to the creations menu, you download mods into your load order, you keep them, you delete them, whatever. If you have not gone onto Bethesda's website itself, signed into your account, and then went to your library and unsubscribed from those mods, they're there waiting to possibly download into your load order again. If you choose the option to download all creations from library, any mod you're subscribed to downloads. Now, not only is that going to give you a bunch of conflicting mods, but on this current patch of patch 1.31, these mods are going to be downloading at a much larger file size than what they're supposed to be, at least the vast majority of them. And so the problem with that is the 16 gigabytes of allotted space that we've been given with this update, and I know some people are saying 15, I'm saying 16 because it said I had a gigabyte used and 15 free. To me, that's 16. But in any case, that allotted space would get eaten up very quickly by all these mods that you do not intend to have in your load order being downloaded with the new file sizes. And that includes patches. An example is I tested a LOD mod for a tree that was a very small size. I don't recall the exact size. However, when I downloaded it, it was 256 megabytes for that LOD add-on patch. And that's not the only, I'd say, concern I have about download all creations at this time. So if you'd seen a couple of previous videos that I did, and one of them being a workaround to getting work in progress mods because they removed our ability to easily get them with the creations update, I warned in the video that if you had mods that you were purposely not wanting to update, not to do the workaround that I showed. In fact, I've actually unlisted those videos for now just to be on the safe side. The reason that I warned not to do that was because when you chose to download all creations from the library, it looks for mods that are not updated and it updates them. And at least in my experience right now, if you go into the creations menu, you can see there's an update section, and all my mods in the load order show they need to be updated, and no way in hell am I going to do that and fuck up their file sizes. Not intentionally in any case. But that's the problem. If you choose to download all creations from library, it's going to look for the mods that need to be updated, which in this case then would be all of them, and it's going to then give them all the much larger download size. So you can see where you would very quickly and easily run out of... Sorry about them. Say it might be kind of hard to hear me with that shit going on. Any rate, you would very easily and quickly run out of the new allotted space, and most likely that would cause your game to lock up and other issues. Again, I would say that's just a theory because I have not tested it, but it's definitely a concern I have. So besides that, the next thing that I want to talk about is, again, if you're lucky enough that you have mods in your load order that right now have the correct file size, is I'd think twice about deleting them out of the load order. So let's say that you do have space like I do, and you might notice that I have some mods here I didn't before. That's because I don't know any better. But in any case, that you decide you want to get a new water mod, whatever, and you decide you like it, you want to use it, and so you're going to delete the old water mod. I would definitely think twice about deleting them for right now, because I've found that mods that, it doesn't matter if it's a brand new mod or a mod I previously showcased that wasn't in the load order,
Just
mods
yesterday I saw
that...
a musician in the street playing a
Erwin,
flute.
stop doing that.
It was beautiful.
Mods that are downloaded from this patch download with the larger file size. So if you had, say, a water mod that was fairly small in its install size, and a lot of the mods that were not external assets, like a water and train enhancement, for example, is pretty damn small, then when you go to download it again, if you for whatever reason decided, you know what, I missed that mod, I want it back, whatever it is, it's going to download, and you're going to have a much larger file size than what you did before. So in that case, I would recommend, there's always something going on, I would recommend that if you're going to have a mod that conflicts with it, shut it off, obviously, but leave it in the load order unless you are damn certain that, at least during this patch, and we don't know when and if a fix is coming and exactly how it's going to work, but otherwise, leave that other mod simply disabled in the load order. Do not delete it. Not unless you're damn certain that you are never going to install it again, at least during our current patch. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about, and again, please remember, I'm not an expert on this game, so the information that I'm going to be saying may not be exactly right, but that is mods that, if I understand correctly, mods that are ESL flagged are not supposed to count to the plugin limit, and that some of the mods that say that specifically say in the mod description they don't count to the plugin limit, actually are. So I recall a conversation that I had, but I may not be recalling it correctly, in comments a couple of years back with mod author Cyan49, where I could have swore he said there was a limit of 255. The mod just checking, oh great, wolves. The mod just checking in its description says there is a limit of 253. So I'm not certain if it's 253 or 255. For the sake of this discussion, let's just say 255. Then I have found, thanks to a mod that I have called Just Checking, which counts the plugins and does not count masters, ESL flagged, that some of those mods that it says don't count the plugin limit, that mod is detecting them, meaning it is. And I know it's not an error on that mod's part because there are other mods that are ESL flagged that it does not detect. And the way that it detects it is the mod needs to be the very last one in the load order, and then it counts the plugins that you have before and it gives you a number. So I could see where that would be an issue for somebody, that if you're close to the limit, which is said that if you go over it, that Skyrim gets even worse running than what it does. I don't know exactly what happens.
I'm not sure that it's news, but lately
But
it seems like every
I could see where that could be a problem, where you think that, well, the mod says it's ESL flagged, they don't count to the plugin limit, and you have, say, several like that, and some of them actually are, and you're exceeding the amount that they say is safe to have. So what I would recommend, if at all possible, hopefully maybe you already had the mod and had the correct file size version, but if not, and if you have the space to install it, would be to get the mod Just Checking. I'll put up and post the full name of it, and make certain to place it in the very last slot in the load order. And then before downloading a mod that says it doesn't count to your plugin limit, what you would want to do is, before that mod is installed and enabled, go ahead, load up your save, and when you do, you'll see a number in the upper left hand corner that, as long as you have the mod placed correctly, is counting the plugins and telling you how many that you have, or that you may possibly have a bear from the looks of it. Of course. Furwin, would you mind? Any rate, take note of the number of plugins that it's counting. It's a bear, can't you tell? And then, after you have that number, go ahead, download the mod that says it doesn't count, and load up your save with that mod active. If the number has increased,
so many new stories being made right now.
Sorry about her. If the number has increased, that means that Just Checking is detecting it, meaning it's counting to your plugin limit. If the number did not increase, then it is not counting to the overall limit, and it actually is ESL flagged. Now, I do believe that it has an option, besides seeing it when you first load up a save, you can also go into your power section and use a power in there to do it, so just keep that in mind. And again, very important, is Just Checking needs to be the very last slot in the load order for it to count the plugins placed before it. So that is going to do it for today's video. I know it wasn't entertaining. I don't know if it was helpful. Hopefully it might help you to avoid some possible issues that could arise. Again, remember, I am by no means an expert on this game. I'm just a player, and so I could very well be wrong about some of that, but it's just my thoughts. In any case, I hope it helped you out, and if you made it to the end of the video and stuck with me this long, thank you. I appreciate that. Take care. This has been a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin via the Eyes Only Informant Net. Peace out.